Hey everyone, Leo with the Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our Daisy greeting card. Now I have all of my pieces cut out, as should you. I'm just going to jump right in here. It's a pretty straightforward card, and I've got my card base here, already folded it in half. And this is the piece that's going to go on the front. Now you'll notice that it's got some little notches, and this is where the little flower is going to go. But down here you'll see that there's kind of an extension on this piece that goes out to here and then down a little bit here. This piece is actually going to get glued down so that this is all the way in the corner, and this piece is going to be flush at the bottom. And then the rest of it will leave an even border all the way around, with the exception of these little notches here. And you'll see how those all work here in just a second. So let's get our glue going, and let's get this first piece glued down, kind of set the pace and get things moving here. And this is mostly just paper piecing. There's not really a lot of 3D stuff. We're going to make a little bow and fluff up a few little pieces as far as the flower goes. Or actually, I think it's actually just some leaves in the hat. Just make sure that these notches here are nice and flush with the side of the card. These should be flush in the corner here. This should be flush at the bottom, and that looks spot on. Okay, perfect. Next, we're going to take and glue the flower portion of this down. Now you can see on this side here, we've got 3 on the right that are cut off substantially, 2 that are cut off on the left, and then 1 that has a tiny little cut, a straight cut there. That's the one that's going to go right here. Okay, so it's going to go on just like this. And we want to match these up with these little notches here. Okay, so let's get our glue going on the back of this guy. And I'm just going to use my little curly Q technique here to get out into this round area at the tips of the petals. Okay. And just a little bit on the inside. Remember that we have 2 substantially cut off sections on the left and 1 small one, and then the 3 go on the other side. So line that up as accurately as you can, press that down and hold. Now this paper that I'm gluing this to is actually, I think it was embossed out of the factory. So anytime you're gluing something flat to something that's embossed, you may need to give it a little extra love. And I'm seeing that on the tips of some of these petals here, especially over here on the left side. So I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper, throw a little extra glue on that, and that's probably way too much. I'm going to thin that out a bit. I'll wipe some of that off and then just go underneath here and paint a little extra glue on those. I don't know why they dried out so quick, but again, it could be because of the embossed sections there of this paper that I'm gluing it to. So just make sure everything is nice and flat, nice and flush. That side also is giving me a little bit of a problem, but it's not really a problem because we can go in and fix it by just putting a little bit of glue on a scrap piece of paper and then painting it right underneath, and then just press that down. Okay, so that looks good. That should hold this time around. Next, we're going to take this piece here, and that's going to go like this. Okay, so again, we've got the 3 substantial cuts on the right-hand side. I'm going to do the same thing here, get those glued down. And I think this time I'm going to try to get some more glue out to the very tips of each of these petals so that I don't run into the same problem here. And we've got a lot of surface area to cover, so you got to try to be efficient with your gluing so that this stuff doesn't dry. Again, getting it out to the very edge, a little bit on the inside, and get that right in place. Again, making sure that the cut off sections are flush with the very edge, and the rest of them should be nice and centered on the little petals there. I think that looks good. Press that down into place. And this time I'm not gluing onto a embossed piece, so it should sit nice and flat for me, and that's what we should end up with. I did hit this with a little bit of pink ink. I'm not sure if you can really tell from the camera right now, but that's okay. All right, let's open this up and let's put the inside together. It's just this piece here, and this is going to go right dead center with a nice even border all the way around. So let's get that flowing. Let's get the glue flowing on this piece. Nice and easy. Okay, watch the little areas here with these little details. Try, I guess since we're gluing it onto white, it's not the end of the world if you get a little bit of glue that seeps into the cutouts, but obviously you want to try to avoid that if possible. And again, when you place this down, try to get a nice even border all the way around, nice and straight, just like that. Okay, and we've got a little gold overlay that's going to go right there. So just throw a little bit of glue on there. This is actually, we're using a gold foil. You may not be, that's fine, either way. Not a big deal. And with this, we want this flush at the top. So right at the top of the section there. And of course, get it centered. And there we go. Okay, so plenty of room for a print and cut, a stamp, whatever it is that you want to do. And then there's our front. Now it's time to put together our beautiful little lady here. And we're going to start off with this large piece here. Okay, so we'll take this main piece here and we're going to glue this piece onto this piece. So we do need to put glue on this entire piece. Just work that glue out to the perimeter first. A little bit on the nose and color that in. And I'm just kind of using the shadow elements. And then I'm also looking at the chin and the lips. Okay, and then I have this down here. I need to kind of scooch that a little bit. There we go. I think I got that on pretty good. I'm a little bit off actually. So I'm going to redo that. Actually kind of ran into the same issue when I was just putting it on without the glue. And it happens. And I'm probably not even going to edit this out because I just want to show you that, well, we all make mistakes. So do your best to get that lined up as accurately as possible. Definitely use the facial features as a guide, okay? All right, so that worked out even though I had to glue it down twice. Next we're going to find this piece that almost looks like a little high heel shoe. That's going to go right here in this corner. What is that? That's her little scarf. Okay, so this is a pretty small piece, very delicate, doesn't need a ton of glue, so go easy. And just match that up, like so. There we go. This is a beautiful little watercolor print that I also inked with a little bit of pink. There is there's a set of lips, they're very small. I think probably just one dot of glue will hold that in place, and I'm going to actually thin that out. I don't need a lot. And you can see where the lips are, so just line that up. And the cool thing is you can change the makeup color, obviously. Give her whatever makeup or lipstick color that you would like. I also did hit that with a little bit of ink as well. We've got some little hoop earrings here. And again, this is a pretty small piece, so don't cake it with too much glue. Go easy. And right here, you'll see a set of markers, and the top little circle is going to go right in between those little markers. So use those to your advantage. Make sure we get that in the correct spot. And that looks good. Okay. And that is it for this layer, because we're actually going to build this up by layering it. So I'm going to flip this over and get my foam squares out and start popping some foam squares on here. I'm going to go up there. I'll do one here. I'll do one there, and probably one there. Let me flip this over, do my little push test, and see if it really kind of gives in any place. If it does, maybe add an extra one, but I think 6 of these, I think these are 1/4 inch, will work. And I don't know if it's coming up or coming through on the audio, but boy, it's super windy here. I feel like we always have one video where the wind is just howling out there. Okay, so we're going to line this up with the very corner on the bottom left. Make sure it's flush at the bottom too. And just pop that right into place like so. There we go. Okay, so the first layer is done. And then the next 2 layers, well, it's actually just one more layer, but 2 different sections. We've got the hat, and then we've got this part here. So we're going to start off with this guy here, and we're going to take this pattern piece and get the glue on there, and we're going to glue it to this pink piece. And this is obviously you have a whole shadow element here, so it's going to fit on here just right on top of it perfectly. There we go. Press that down, and then we have her little shoulder. That's going to go right here. Show you exactly where it goes here in just a second. Okay, it's actually going to be flush up against the right-hand side of this bottom, and also flush with the very bottom, like so. And press that down. Okay, and this is actually going to get pop dotted right here, like that. So we can flip that over, and I'm just going to use a couple big ones just because it'll go quicker. You can do 3, why not? Why not? This is a cool little card. So many occasions for these. A lot of you have been making the lady hat cards. Okay, so right here, this little piece right here is going to match up with this section here. So let's just make sure that we get that aligned correctly. Should be flush with the bottom. There we go, just like that. Okay, perfect. And then we can put the hat together. Here are the pieces for the hat. Now on this we have these 2 little, they're not tabs, they just fold over like this. I'm actually going to fold them back because on this side I want to actually glue these little pieces to this section here on the inside. So again, if we fold it out, you can see where these go. We go like this. Okay, so let's get a little bit of glue on these pieces here. My fingers are all inked up. I was doing a lot of inking to prepare to actually shoot the videos, and I guess didn't really come off very well today. That's okay. At least you know I've been working hard. Okay, so there's that one. And we're not gonna do any, we don't need to glue these down. We're just gonna kind of let them hang like that just to make it look nice and dimensional. Okay, let's get the glue on the other one. My glue is literally pouring out right now. That's okay. Just have to squeeze a little gentler. Okay, so press that down. There we go. That looks great. And we have this guy here, and you can see there's a little cutout here. And that's going to go right over there. There's also 2 little score marks, actually 3 little score marks here to help you with the alignment of the rest of this. Okay, it's going to go like that. So let's get our glue going on this piece. Nice and easy. Don't overdo it. Use those little score marks to your advantage, obviously. And just like that. Okay. All right. So now we can take this and let's flip this over. Let's throw some foam squares on this guy and get that in place. And then we just have a little bow to put together along with a few little leaves. And then the card will be done. And obviously we have an envelope to go with it as well. So now this, I'm going to match this up with the shadow behind it. Make sure you get it nice and aligned. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. That's so cool. Beautiful colors too. I love it. Okay. All right, so next, need to put a bow together. Actually, let's do the little leaves first. Let me take a look at how this was done on the prototype. Okay, so we have 3 leaves, 3 different sizes, and the smallest one's going to go in the front. You'll notice that there's a set of little score marks on there. That's just so you can pinch it and add a little bit of dimension to it. Okay, so the big one's going to go on first. And these are just going to get glued on straight like this. You can see there's like a little box formation at the bottom. You definitely want to pinch these two, and then pinch the tip. Do the same thing with this one. So all three just need a little pinch. Once we have these all pinched, we're going to start with a small one. Throw a little bit of glue on the back and glue it to the second largest one, like that. Just match up the little rectangles so it looks like that. And then we'll throw a little bit of glue on the back of this and glue this down to the largest one. And just make sure you're matching up the little rectangles. Okay, so that's what we're going to end up with, just like that. We'll leave that for a second while we put our bow together. And for the bow, you're going to take probably like a 1/4 inch dowel. And I'm going to take the bow and place it between my finger and the dowel, or just bring the one of the loops towards you, 90 degrees, and then just run the dowel through. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and you'll notice that on each of the ends here, there's a little rectangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, and there's also a little rectangle here in the center of the bow. We're going to take this rectangle, glue it to the rectangle in the center. Okay, so let's throw some glue on this little guy here, bring it in and match it up with that little rectangle in the center, and press and hold. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll take that little rectangle and bring it into the center, glue it to the rectangle in the center, and press and hold. Okay, and then give that a few seconds to set. There's a lot of tension here. It might be trying to pull away. This guy here, we're going to take this and place it centered over the center part of the bow, and then just fold it over. There's no score lines here, so it's just a matter of folding it yourself, and throw a little bit of glue on one end and flip it back on top of the other half or the other end. Okay, and that's just going to give us a nice little finished bow looking sort of look. And you'll notice here on the hat there's a little rectangle there, right? Well, okay, so this is where on this side is where I connected the two ends. So I'm going to glue the leaves to this side so that we don't see that seam. So it's going to look like that. Okay, so let's throw a little bit of glue right on the little rectangle there and glue that right to the rectangle on the bow. Very simple, nice and centered. Okay, so that's what we end up with. And then we literally just take this, and this little rectangle here is going to get glued right onto that rectangle there, and it's going to go over this little cutout here, just a tad. And actually, instead of gluing it down, you can glue it down if you want, but I'm going to use a little foam square actually to give that a little extra dimension. I think one foam square is perfect for that, and just match it up right there, and voila, beautiful, nice and dimensional. And that's it for the card. Okay, so of course, as I mentioned, well, we always have a nice coordinating envelope to go with every card we make, and that is right here in front of me. These are some little overlays for the flap. So let's take a look here. I've already got it pre-folded, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take these two sides, fold them in, and then this is going to go up on top over the two flaps. And you can literally just take and run a little bit of glue right along the very edge of this flap, starting at this point here, going all the way down. And actually, I have a feeling that this might warp because it's kind of thick. I laid it on kind of thick on that side. So let's bring that up, press it down, and hold for just a few moments. That card came out awesome. You guys are going to love this card. I can see you guys making this card 100 times, and it never looked the same. Just pick out a few different patterns that coordinate, and what a cool card. Very cool card. That's going to be a hit. Okay, so hold that down. Great, that looks perfect. And we're going to take this piece here, and you can see this piece fits perfectly inside, like so. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take and apply my glue to this part of the flap here. Keep it above the score mark, obviously. You don't need to go below it. All the way to the top. A little bit here, a little bit there. Put a little dot there, maybe a little bit in between each of the petals. Don't overdo it. Okay. And then I'm going to take this piece. I got my texture side out. I'm going to kind of just lay it down so it's touching the table or touching this. Get it nice and centered. Make sure it's centered, and then just take the flap and bring it down like so. And just press down. And then you can see right here on this piece, we do have a series of little score marks, and it's for the little leaf accents that we're going to add here. So we've got one that's going to go here. You can see the little V-shaped markers. You just want to match that up with the little point on the leaf. I'm just going to do a few little dots of glue. You don't need a lot. And line that up nicely. Press that down into place. Same thing on the other side. And then there's one tiny little circle, the mint colored circle that goes right in the center of our little flower. Okay. Press that down, just like that. And then we have the little circle in the center. You could, if you want, you could probably just put a little rhinestone or a pearl on there instead. Get that nice and centered. And there we have it. How's that look? Looks good. Okay, nice coordinating envelope to go along with our beautiful card. Now again, if you are mailing this, obviously when we pop it in here, some of these elements, I think mostly just the bow might get squished a little bit, but it'll pop back out. Okay, and that's okay. I would obviously, if you're going to take this to the post office, take it to the clerk at the front and ask them to hand cancel it so it doesn't run through the machine, because that would be a disaster. But anyway, that's it. I have a feeling I'm going to be seeing this a lot of these, and I'm looking forward to it because it's kind of like dressing up. You get to pick out an outfit, pick out a hat, pick out your colors. I've personally never had to coordinate my outfit with lipstick, but I know plenty of women, and I know that it's fun to get dressed up. So this is kind of like playing dress up, except with your Cricut or your Silhouette or ScanNCut. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the project. If you did, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We've got 46,600 plus subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you. And if you make this or anything from our new bundle, I would love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, or you can type in this little URL that you see here at the bottom of your screen. Can't wait to see what you do with Daisy, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.